Hey, dirty little monkeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. YouTube is always subtitling my dirty little monkeys into dead little monkeys. It's not dead little monkeys, it's dirty little monkeys. Today we're gonna be talking about the Craigslist Killer. So there's this dude named Philip Markov. He's a 23-year-old medical student. He grew up in a small town, middle class family in upstate New York. As per his friends, Philip was a serious and active in extracurricular activities and a very well behaved boy. Also claimed to be very brilliant academically. While Philip was pursuing his career as a doctor at SUNY Albany, he met Megan McAllister. Philip and Megan volunteered at a medical center close by to their campus, and there they started dating. After 3 pretty years, they got engaged and planned to get married on the August of 14, 2009. Apart from all of these pros, Philip has huge cons. Was 130,000 debt in student loan and had a pension for gambling. Well, not only that, Philip's another huge con is that he reached out to people on Craigslist. All of his messages revealed that Philip was actually a different person, a person who was thirsty for outside sexual encounters. Engaged several messages with someone who was back then labeled as transvestite in the Boston area. He used this email address to share subsequent messages and explicit photos. It was later reported that Philip had sent messages to multiple men who posted ads on Craigslist labeled as M4T, which means men looking for transvestites. Transvestites. Stites. I cannot get that to my mouth. Transvestites. On the April of 13, 2009, Philip had responded to an ad on Craigslist under the section Erotic Services. That category that later would be changed Adult Services. P.S. On the 2010, Craigslist had removed Adult Services from the platform altogether. So the person who posted that ad that Philip had responded to was Julissa Berisman, a masseuse and an aspiring model. Well, of course, she and Philip had used fake names on the Craigslist. They had their meeting on April 14, exactly 4 months before Megan and Philip's marriage. Well, shortly into their meeting, Philip attacked Julissa. In order to save himself, Philip had bludgeoned Julissa with his pistol. Somehow, after being bludgeoned, Julissa still had the willpower to move, and Philip saw it and he shot her 3 times in a close range and escaped the scene. Julissa initially survived the shots, but unfortunately later then she passed away in the Boston Medical Center, the same institution where Philip took his medical studies. But in the past, there were already 2 other violent attacks that had been done by Philip through Craigslist. 4 days before Julissa's meeting, which was the 10th of April 2009, Philip had met with another masseuse named Tisha Leffler, and she let the news know that he came in, tied her up, and robbed her. Same goes to another girl called Cynthia Melton. She used to advertise lap dance. They met 2 days after Philip had killed Julissa. And similar to the past events, Philip tied Cynthia up and asked for her money and credit cards. He told her, and I quote, "Don't worry, I will not kill you. Just give me the money." Well, unfortunate for Philip that day, Cynthia's robbery was interrupted by her husband, but somehow by beating them up, Philip managed to escape. Well, Philip's virtual footprint was the reason that he got caught. He had left messages that was recorded by email providers and IP addresses that is visible to Craigslist each time somebody made a post. Police were able to determine that the messages that had responded to the ads came from a building from Boston. More than that, the authorities were majorly helped by the CCTV footages. It was a cherry on top of the cupcake with the striking resemblance of Philip Markov and the Craigslist killer that the police were looking for. On the 20th of April, police pulled over Philip Markov and Megan McAllister, his fiancée, while they were on their way to Foxwoods, a casino in the Connecticut. The police force brought Philip to the custody while the other officers researched his apartment. And oh my god, they found exactly what they were looking for. Under his mattress, bullets, a gun, and 16 pairs of women's underwear was found. They also found a hard drive which contained the messages that he used to respond to Julisa's Craigslist post. Philip was then put to jail, of course. While in jail, Philip made several attempts to take his own life away. The first attempt was made 3 days after his arrest, and the second after Megan McAllister, his fiancée, broke up with him, and the third after realizing that his wedding has been cancelled. While on the other side, at first, Megan McAllister, his fiancée, did not at all believe that he was the Craigslist killer. She refused it so much. She refused so much to believe the authorities. She defended him by saying that Philip was a beautiful man inside out. He would not hurt a fly. Well, later she had to cancel their wedding. And a year later, it was announced that Philip successfully took his own life away in the August of 2010, aged only 24. It was exactly a year and a day after his wedding should have been happened. Philip used his knowledge of human anatomy to properly take his life away. He slashed major arteries on his ankle, legs, and neck, and then stuffed toilet paper down his throat and covered his face with plastic bag. He literally knew properly how to do it so that he wouldn't even have a chance to survive. Who would have thought his medical studies would come in handy for this kind of a situation for a doctor? When Philip was bleeding in his cell, he used this blood to write a message on the wall saying, Megan, Pocket. Megan, of course, is his fiance's name, and Pocket, by some medias, were claimed that it was a term that they use on each other in their relationship. It wasn't confirmed what Pocket was, so found his fiance's pictures in the cell. It was said that later, after years, Megan McAllister had moved on with her life. Hopefully, she's fine now. Would have not been that easy to repel yourself from a very traumatizing incident. Would have changed her whole life around. But if you guys want to know more about the story, they literally made a movie completely based on true events. They even used the actual names in the movie. The movie's name is The Craigslist Killer. You guys could go and watch it. If you guys are going through a secret addiction by yourself, I hope you seek for help because it will soon swallow you where you cannot control yourself anymore. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, a great year ahead. Stay safe, you guys. Let your loved one know that you love them, and I love you guys. Good night.